Hi, I am Demon Bane. And there's this girl that I'm dating right now that is extremely beautiful, and I love her very, very much, and I care about her a whole heck of a lot. But she's got one problem. She doesn't like Star Wars. That's pretty close to a deal breaker for me. I mean, come on, we're talking about, one of the best things in the world, the best storylines in the world, based on, everything. I don't need to explain this to you. You guys know Star Wars is awesome. And I'm sure there are going to be people that argue with me about Star Wars being not quite so awesome, and to those people, I respect your opinion, and I'm not dating you. So, here's the issue. So here's the thing. How do I, as the loving and caring person that I am, turn this woman who does not like Star Wars into a Star Wars fan? I have a few ideas on this subject, and I'm going to share them with you. The first and most obvious idea is to brainwash her. A la, aka using the Jedi mind trick. And say, these are the movies you're looking for. Something along those lines. Or, I could explain the merits of all the movies. Go through them point by point, explaining to them the excellence of these dramatic storylines and how important they are to the culture as a whole, and how they've, the scientific advances that have come through the love of Star Wars. But I have a feeling that won't work. So, another idea that I've had is I take a toy lightsaber and I beat her over the head repeatedly, and I say, the power of Yoda compels you! But I think that won't work either. So I'm at a complete loss. I don't know what to do. Maybe you guys have some ideas. Write down in the comments and let me know what your idea would be to convert your girlfriend to the glorious fandom of Star Wars. So, what else would be the deal breaker for you? And I'm not talking about faith or religion or culture or anything like that. None of the serious things that people usually call as deal breakers. I'm talking about nerdy type things. Like, are you a fan of Star Trek? And yes, I am the rare breed of human being and nerd that likes both Star Wars and Star Trek. I know, it's weird. What was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. It derailed and crashed into the forest of never returning. Oh yes, girlfriends. And I was talking about what are your guys' pet peeves in the nerd realm, in the things that you like. What would be the deal breaker? I mean, I'd like to think that it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me that she doesn't like Star Wars. It's just, I don't understand it. I grew up watching Star Wars. It was one of the first good movies that I ever watched. And I've always loved Star Wars. I mean, I was born in 1983, a couple of months before the, Return of the Jedi came out. So I think that it's a big part of my growing up, okay? Almost every single movie that came out I saw in the theaters. When they re-released them in the 90s, I went to see them in the theaters. The original trilogy, which is, when I say original trilogy, I mean 4, 5, and 6, not 1, 2, and 3. For those of you that don't know, a lot of fans that are of the Star Wars universe don't count the prequels. I want to say I don't count them, but I mainly don't count Phantom Menace. There are parts in Attack of the Clones that I like. The romance is horrible and rotten. And there are parts in Revenge of the Sith that I like. So, I can't completely discount them. I try to keep an open mind with those sort of things. I've read a lot of the books. The Thrawn series I loved. The X-Wing series I loved. The New Jedi Order, I haven't gotten all the way through them. Probably my favorite book that I've read has either got to be either the Thrawn series, the first Thrawn, the Thrawn trilogy, I should say, with C'baoth. And then I also really like the Courtship of Princess Leia. And if you haven't read it, you really should. It's a really good book. I forget who wrote it, though. I could look it up on my phone, but I'll put it in the description, who the author is in the book, and you guys can go find it. It's good. It should be in most libraries. It's an older book. Another couple of books from the Star Wars fandom that, well, before they removed it as being canon, but I still consider it canon. Maybe alternate universe canon, I don't know. But I still consider that canon. Shadows of the Empire was a good book. It was a comic book and a video game for the Nintendo 64 way back in the day, when I was a teenager. And also, it's an odd book because it takes place in between Episode 4 and Episode 5, which is A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And it was actually written during the time period in between those movies. So it has some themes that, now that we know the whole storyline, there seems to be some sort of tension between Luke and Leia that, now that we know the fact that they're brother and sister, it kind of is a little bit uncomfortable to read. But nothing happens, of course. It's called Splinter of the Mind's Eye. It's a really good book. You should really take the time and read it if you get the chance. Well, I guess that's it for this vlog today. If you like what I've been talking about and you have some other ideas of other types of videos that I can make, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. And give it a like and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to try to be putting up videos every other day or so. And I hope to see you the next video. I hope to see you next time. Take care.